Hi guys, welcome to an XtraTalk special edition with a full house. We got Ajax, Papimento, and Sabi.
Hi guys.
What's up, man?
Yo.
All right, guys, we have a bunch to talk about. It's a special edition today, not one that we have planned, but we have to talk about it. This week was a disaster, basically, if we can say it like this. Brobbey, then Haller, then Onana. Let's talk about those three specific cases today. I want your opinion. I want your take. Let's have a discussion. Let's see how you guys think about what's happening. And let's start with Ajax. Ajax, let's start with Brobbey. So we heard right after the transfer window, we heard Brobbey is not going to extend his contract. This is his final year. So he'll be a free agent in the summer. What was your first take on this? How did you respond to that?
I was pretty mad, man. I was thinking, damn, what the fuck? Why is he not extending? And it's a big talent, and he could be of use to Ajax in the future years. But unfortunately, these talents nowadays don't have the patience to wait for their chance and to mature a little bit more in the Dutch league. They're 18, 19, 20 years old, and they expect all of a sudden to already be a first 11 player, you know. And I think if you see the long list of players that went abroad at a young age, almost nobody really succeeds abroad. So for me, it's very disappointing that he decided to not extend. And I think we would have had a great use for him in the coming years. And maybe it's because I'm a little bit mad, but for me, don't include him anymore in the squad and just, you know, let him train separately. But yeah, this is maybe a little bit harsh. But this is my emotion speaking, you know, because why would you give him more minutes to get to a better club? But maybe we will need him now due to the circumstances. But for me, I'm very sad, and I also think a lot has to do with his agent, Raiola. But this is speculation from my side. I'm very sad about the news, and I was very optimistic of him maybe signing the contract. And it hit me hard. So very sad.
I think Brobbey had a lot of potential, but for me, you have an Ajax heart or you don't. Ajax educated you. You've been with the Ajax Academy for 10 years. I expect somebody to also want to stay at Ajax, and if you don't want to stay, get out. To be honest, Brobbey is getting minutes as an 18-year-old in the first team of Ajax. He should be grateful. So for me, as a fan, I'm just really pissed off. But we all know it's all about the money, right? So he chose the money. We will see how long it will take for him to play in another first team. And coming back on if he should play, I don't think Ten Hag should use him at all. We have Idrissi now. Tadic can go to number 9 position. Done.
Yeah. First thing on my mind was fuck Raiola. I mean, that guy, he's the devil. He's the devil who whispers in his mind, in his head, and stating him that he needs to leave because he will be 3rd or 4th in position for the striker position. But to be honest, I blame Raiola at first, but Brobbey as well. I mean, he played us. We saw his interview some months ago stating, it's all good. I'm gonna sign that contract. I love Ajax. I want to stay at Ajax, etc. So what changed in the meantime? It can't be that Haller has been signed because Huntelaar left. It's just some sort of replacement, even though Haller has been bought as a first striker. Still, as Papimento and Ajax already mentioned, he is young. He has potential. He should move on. He should play minutes. And now he's going to another club. Let's see how it develops. I mean, he is 3rd striker at Ajax. I don't think he will be a 2nd striker at another club. So it's bad news for us, but at the end, it's also bad news for him.
Well,
go ahead, man.
Well, the club I've heard he wants to go to is Leipzig. So I don't see him getting that many minutes at Leipzig, to be honest. But it must be just the money, man.
Absolutely. We all know what will happen, guys. In a few years, we will see him pop up at Vitesse or Utrecht, Pek Zwolle, and coming back to the Dutch fields because he didn't succeed in the foreign competitions. He has more money in his pockets, but his career will be probably not has taken the lift off that he's expected it to be. And
And the Dutch pundit also said that he doesn't have the level for being an Ajax striker anyway. So actually, we shouldn't even be that mad if I have to listen to their opinion. But I think it's good to have different kind of types of strikers in that position, and that you have different options to play with. So, and he was fast. He was fast, physical. He could have been a great asset for Ajax in the coming years. So you should be unhappy.
How many times did we agree with Dutch pundits? Let's be honest.
Yeah,
those guys, they don't know what they're talking about. They should watch us because we know what we're talking about. But for me, I did see a lot of potential in Brobbey, so I do not agree with the pundits. And I'm actually quite sad that that he's leaving. But hey, you know how it goes. You said it before. He doesn't have an Ajax heart. Fuck him. Let's get on with business. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, how many youngsters who left Ajax, our club, early, got a starting position at another club? How many?
None. Almost
Exactly.
none.
Almost none. I mean, we have Frankie de Jong. He's young, but he already proved himself for some years.
Yeah. But those are top players, world-class players, man. You see how Donny is at Manchester. See Ziyech is not even playing all the games. He's constantly injured. The physicality in England is totally different.
And what really annoys me is the fact that he's going as a free agent. So he doesn't even provide Ajax, the club that provides him the education, the play time, etc. He even played in youth squads of the Netherlands. All because of Ajax, and now he's leaving for free. That's all to blame to Raiola. That's why I said, really, screw him and let's move on.
Let's be honest, you know, he has the right to do this, but he fucked us over, basically.
Guys, okay, just a question from my side, you know, still about Brobbey, just to finish off. How much of this, because we're talking about Brobbey all the time and Raiola, I want to reverse it now. I want to go to Ajax. How much can we blame Ajax about this? Not the fact that Brobbey is leaving because it's a player's choice, maybe an agent choice, maybe both. How much can we blame Ajax for the fact that now he's becoming a free agent? How do you see that?
Yeah, personally, I believe when Overmars said he's done everything he could. So I have no doubt about that. But I do think that they should structurally, do things differently. So when you have youth players that even are not in the first squad yet, but you see potential in them, they then extend their contracts with many years before you let them debut in Ajax 1. And not let them flourish a little bit first, give them some minutes, and then they have all sorts of demands. No, the thing is, you're going through our education, you have potential, we think about including you in the first squad, but first let's do some contract negotiations so that you do not have these similarities anymore in the future, that somebody is performing and finally getting some minutes and then the last 6 months of the contract and then bye-bye. So this is what can be done differently, but I do believe in the current situation that Overmars has done everything he could.
Same here. I don't think Ajax is to blame. We started the season with him also with the first team training in Germany and getting preseason games. Then Ten Hag told us he wasn't fit enough for the first team, so he started at Young Ajax. When Traoré got injured, he also got injured, but he did get minutes in the first team, and that shows from Ajax that they are willing, and it's not common for an 18-year-old to get so many minutes if you're not a top world-class talent, like Gravenberg, for instance. So, I don't know. I think Brobbey played Ajax, in my opinion, and it might be his agent, it might be Brobbey, but it's not Ajax that could have done anything else.
Well, with the contract extensions, as Ajax mentioned, I would definitely support that, but only with the major talents. For the ones that are really not that convincing yet, I wouldn't take that risk, because if they wouldn't deliver, you would stuck with them for years based on their contract. So that's one thing. But if you see really potential, then obviously we need to sign them and we should give them an extension for many years in order not to leave in an earlier stage. And is Ajax to blame? Well, at the end, no, because Overmars told us that he did the utmost to make sure that he would sign that contract. But I would have loved to see him giving Raiola and Brobbey a deadline before the transfer window. If he doesn't sign, then we can sell him. Obviously, if he's not willing to leave, then he's free to stay at Ajax, but then not play at all. But we should have given them the deadline. And now it seems like, and I don't know for sure, it seems like the deadline has surpassed, or the decision has been made after the transfer deadline. And then it's a bit too late. We're stuck with him for 6 months before he will leave as a free agent. And I think that's a bit unfortunate. That would not be my decision. But as I said, if Overmars told us that he did everything he could, then I believe him.
Final take on this one from all of you. Just one sentence, if that's possible. What should we do with Brobbey now? Should he be a priority? Should he play in the first squad still? Should we put him back to young Ajax? How do you guys see that now?
I have a good idea for him. Let him polish the boots and clean it, and let him carry the balls. And
he could be water boy.
Yeah, let's be the water boy. And also to respond to Zagbi, I agree with you with the contract extension that not every talent should get it, but you can also make separate categories. Very big talents you give a lot of years of contract. Talents that you do want in your academy, but you're not that convinced about against the bigger talents, you give 2 years of contract, so that you do not have the situation that you have contracts that are expiring.
Exactly what I meant.
And also, if the gap is too big between young Ajax and playing in the first, let them go on loan. Yeah. Not holding Ekkelenkamp, for instance, not playing at all and just being in the first team training only. It's not gonna make somebody better.
Same situation with Long. Just agree with him to go on loan, not selling him. It's stupid shit.
Yeah. All right, guys. Let's move on to Haller. That's the next news, next blow, basically this week. So we forgot to register him for the Europa League. How that is possible is still, a big question mark to me. There was a press conference, and Ten Hag was able to give some answers. Look, at the end of the day, he took the blame, and Overmars, they're responsible at the end. But there is a department, of course, that goes about these kind of things. And what happens is, the way I read it is, there is always some people looking at it, also from the legal department. They look at the players list, they send it to the Dutch National Association first. They look at it first, then they send it back to Ajax, and then Ajax send it to the UEFA. So there were 2 opportunities to have a good look and check the mistakes, and it didn't happen. So now Haller is out of the Europa League. So I want your opinion on that, and I want your opinion on how much of a setback is this for us going against Lille.
I'm bummed, man. I cannot believe this sort of things are happening in 2021. Everything is digitalized. You have several people checking stuff. How is it possible to make such a big error? And it doesn't matter if they take the blame, because probably they are also covering for somebody. You have one job, do your job, So if you screw up like this, for me, fire the person that's responsible for it, because probably it's somebody in the office that they are covering for. But this is such a huge mistake, and I think they are talking too lightly about it. If I saw the press conference, and I missed the angry, the emotions, because he's trying to be composed, but it must be eating him up inside. And for me, there should be some punishments, for the people that made the mistakes. So and also additionally about this subject, Onana, we will talk about it later, but him not being included for the rest of the season, is this also now a possibility that we can sign Haller instead of him in his place? Because one person that is already been signed in for Europe is now not able to play because of the situation we will talk about in a few minutes. But is this now also a possibility that we can substitute him with Haller? Because you must be able to fill in a substitution player. So
honestly, I don't think so. I think that maybe there will be an option to substitute Onana with another goalkeeper, but with another field player. That's what I think, honestly. But I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's my take on this.
Haller is a great purchase. He's already been important for Ajax with his assists. And that's not even playing at his best. So I think Haller not playing in the Europa League is a huge blow for Ajax. But on the other side, I must say, Traore in form back or Tadic number 9 with Idrissi next to it. It could work, and we're still a strong team. It's just nobody should get injured, like one injury or two injuries in a bad position, and you don't have any options anymore against Lille. And that's the only concern I have. But I think informed Traore or an informed Tadic on the number 9 position could still do the trick.
Yeah, my first opinion was a bunch of amateurs. I would be surprised if that person who is responsible for ticking the box is still working at Ajax. I think we're talking about a player which is a record deal for Ajax. So I think they can't take this lightly. So there will be any penalties for that specific individual. But
how much of a situation can you say it's up to one person? Is it not a process that's wrong, that should be reanalyzed, like Ten Hag also said? I don't think it's one person. There's one person probably checking the box, but I cannot think that there's not a 4-eye principle, a 6-eye principle, or
we don't know. We don't know.
Some kind of auditing,
No, we do know. Ten Hag said in the press conference they double check stuff. So did the same person double check his own work? The one who's thinking outside of the box, not checking the box, and then checking twice if you check the box. What the fuck, man? So shouldn't Ten Hag be like checking the final list also, because he's the coach, he's the manager. So
I listened to the press conference of Ten Hag. I must say I gained an extra respect for him and the way he carried himself. Of course, he takes the responsibility, but he's also already being blamed for being a control freak. Okay, should you really, as a manager and somebody that is responsible for the team and the matches, etc., also should he be involved in checking a box? Are you serious?
Yeah, I think.
Don't you have that Jan Siemering that doesn't know much about soccer anyway to do that kind of stuff?
No, but seriously, he should check it. He should at least.
Why him? Why not Overmars? Why not Overmars?
Guys, a little bit of context here. Just for people that don't know. Jan Siemering is a team manager basically, and he had the professional tennis career. So that's why you mentioned that like this, so people know the context a little bit. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
But either way, it's still an amateur mistake. So, and basically we needed Haller for the Europa League. I don't think we actually really required him for the domestic league, because I think with the current squad that we had, we were able to score the goals that we needed. But now it's like we threw away the 22 million in theory, like we threw it away because we can't use it now in the Europa League. And with the fact on the play against Lille, it's a huge blow, and I'm kind of hesitating whether Ajax will get a good result, because now we are missing Haller, we're missing Onana, but we're also missing Gravenberch the first game due to the suspension. So it's a starter in each line. So only in defense-wise, there's nothing. Mazraoui could be in or out, but it's a huge blow, and it all depends on the first game. If we manage to get a decent result, I can be optimistic. But if Lille is really going to get us the first game, then I think that's then it's over.
I think also with Gravenberch, we're missing him the first game. That's a blow as well. But on the other hand, I hope Kudus is up for it to start that match. That he gets rhythm and is able to perform that match as well, because Kudus is one of the players that can make an impact. Apart from that, also Papimento mentioned that we can put Idrissi on the side as a wing back and put Tadic as number 9. We're forgetting also that Neres is getting also slightly in form. We can put also Neres and Anthony on the sides. We have quite some options up front.
Don't forget we still have Promes also, eh?
Exactly. Well, exactly.
Yeah, but I'm not saying we still have him. I'm not saying play him.
Although I don't think they're going to risk him because if he gets injured, then there is that might also hamper the situation. So
yeah, I don't think Kudus will be fit enough though so soon. He's been gone for a while before he gets to that level again.
But still 2 weeks from now. Still 2 weeks from now. So he has time, and
we might see him tomorrow.
Additionally, let's be happy that Alvarez is playing very well at the moment because we still have him also. So I want to add one little thing about what you said, Papimento, about the extra respect you got for Ten Hag, how he handled the situation. I have the total opposite, actually. I would have loved to see a Dick Advocaat kind of response, you know, just saying what you're feeling and just saying what you think about the situation and not handling it like a politician. So I'm not blaming him for it, but I would love to see a response. What he really thinks,
different scenario.
Different
scenario. I mean, Dick Advocaat is not worried about losing his job. He doesn't really care. So Dick wasn't like this when he was younger either. When he was a manager at different clubs. Yeah, it's now because he's older and he doesn't have anything to prove anymore.
No, but that's a different discussion. I'm just saying I would have loved to see that kind of response because I'm not believing the story he was telling. I do not.
Obviously, nobody does.
I mean, a mistake is easily done, right, guys? I mean, it's like you guys never make a mistake. Of course, it's a professional organization, but mistakes happen. Yesterday at I don't know, I was watching Johan Derksen or something, but there was this guy that it happened with PSV not writing somebody in. It happened with other clubs as well. And it's not going to be the last time.
How many times did these kind of things happen in the past decades? It's maybe a few times, but this is not some kind of mistake. It's a huge mistake.
I agree with Ajax. It's a huge mistake. We're talking about a player who has just been bought, so he's in the spotlights. It should have been known.
He should be the one who they check first. You know, hey,
exactly.
He's our new player on the list. What the hell?
Guys, Idrissi is on the list. Haller isn't. So what the hell?
Yeah.
All right, guys, moving on. We're moving on to the last topic, which is Onana, of course. That was the next day. We thought we had enough days to recover going to Utrecht, but no, we had one more special news, and that was the Onana situation. So the Onana situation, quickly. He took the wrong pills. And
the red one.
Yeah, not the blue one, but the red one. So no, but he took, look, at that day, he was not feeling too good. He mixed up the pills, which he thought was basically a painkiller for a pill that his wife uses for pregnancy. And at that day, he also had the control from the UEFA after the game against Liverpool, I believe. And it seems that, he violated the drug control basically from the UEFA, the doping authorities. And now he's banned for 12 months. Ajax is going to appeal for it. But I want your take on the whole situation. I mean, first, Onana. Can you blame Onana for this? Can you blame Ajax for this? What do you think of the sanctions of the UEFA about what happened?
Yeah. First of all, this is a kind of mistake that is lighter than not the mistake we talked about. I can understand this happening, but still, he should be sharp, like he is within the goal, you know. And being able to see what he puts into his body. So yes, I can understand this mistake is being made. I think the punishment is kind of harsh, but I actually watched Jinek last night on television, and I think Freesia was there, also
ESPN report.
And another I don't remember his name, Juan, I think.
Tom Egbers.
And they actually talked about that this is a light punishment from the UEFA, because if you do it like on purpose, you get 4 years suspension. If you do something not on purpose, it's usually 24 months. So them giving him 12 months is already actually understanding that this is a mistake from his side. But they still need to follow the rules. So for me, 12 months, if I think like logically, 12 months for taking a wrong pill, not ever even benefiting from it, it's very harsh. But if you check the rules, we got lucky actually with 12 months. So, yeah.
So how much do you think the appeal is going to work then in our favor?
I do not think it's going to work because the rules are rules. And if they are now granting lenience towards him and towards our situation, then they should do that in other situations too. And then you're undermining your own rules. So I'm not thinking they will do this. Same with the Haller situation. Rules are rules. So I think we just screwed, man.
I think I think Onana is great. You know this, but I think it's a mistake from Onana, and he should be punished for it. I mean, it is a mistake, but he did do it. I just don't understand that you don't have a special place in your house, a medicine cabinet that's specific only for him. How can you make such a mistake as a professional football player? You know that you're not allowed to take just any random thing. Why don't you have a locked cabinet that's untouched only for you? If you need something medicine-like, it's already there for you, like a prep pack. You know,
yeah,
I mean, it doesn't have to be entwined. Yesterday, Johan Derksen said, yeah, he needs to have a list with all the doping on his cabinet so he knows what to take and what not to take. I'm like, no, just let the doctor at Ajax vet his medicine, put it in a special cabinet, and that's the only cabinet he can use a medicine from.
I think you also have to take into account, and this, if a Dutch player does this, it's very stupid. But I also think the language barrier has maybe something to do with it, because they get medicines from with Dutch subscription, and maybe only Dutch words on it. And if it looks like an aspirin, and he takes it, I can actually understand maybe making that mistake. He doesn't. I do not think he reads Dutch, so he doesn't speak Dutch. Maybe he understands some words, but can he read it? So this is also something you have to take into account. If a Dutch player does this, it's very, very stupid. But this is like a circumstance you also have to think about.
But I do think also, just as last, Sabi, and then you can go. I think he's very harshly punished. Not only is he out for a year, he cannot play any games, but he's also out of the training, and he cannot train with the Ajax squad anymore. And I think that is for a year. That is pretty heavy for Onana. You're screwing up his whole career for something that's not intentional, that you already said it wasn't intentional. So for that, I hope they change the way they see things.
Yeah. Well, there's not a lot to add on what you all just mentioned. It's a mistake. He told us it's a mistake. We as Ajax fans, we believe him. I mean, we saw him play in recent years. We know he's great. So as he said, if it's a mistake, it's a mistake. But if I look at it from another perspective, from the other public, I can imagine that this is just a way to mask the true dope, because the medicine that he used is not to be better, but to
improve his performance. Yeah,
exactly. So it's to mask the true dope. And for a keeper, it can be helpful because the reaction speed can be a lot faster when he's on goal, etc. So for the public, I can understand why they stating that this is correct and he should be punished. It isn't by accident, because how do we know it's by accident or not? I mean, it's only based on his statement.
Can I interject? Because they also said yesterday on TV that the technology is far enough for them, even if you use this pill as a masking device for something you took earlier, technology is already far enough to see what that was. So it doesn't mask that much anyway. And they didn't find anything in Onana's urine. Exactly. So
in that case,
it is intentional in that case. And that's why it seems so harsh.
But then indeed, the 12-month charge is also indeed too harsh for him. Indeed. Then I agree with Papimento.
No, but listen, the UEFA said that they believe Onana that it was not intentional, and it's probably because of what Papimento just said, because they were able to check whether he was masking something else, and they didn't find anything else.
Oh, but then they have the evidence. So why punishing in that way?
Then
because he still violated, because
he still used something.
Well, he violated, of course, but if they can't see any thing in his urine based on the technologies and any dope, etc. Of course, it's a mistake. They believe it's an accident. So if they believe that it's an accident, I don't think he should be punished, at least not so harsh.
This is a different discussion, guys, because look, it is simple as this. They have a set of rules, and he violated those rules. So what we should actually discuss is, if they have the technology to check if something is masked and they can still check if other substances are in his blood, then they should update the rules, for future purposes. For now, we're just screwed because rules are rules and it's violated, even though it's not on purpose. But for future references, they should update the rules. If they can still check if other substances are in his blood, then you should get a free pass if something like this happens. But for now, we're just screwed because it is.
I know we're screwed and he's going to get the punishment. That's not what I'm saying. Well, I just think a year is too much, and not training is also too much. For me, 6 months and just not doing any games would be sufficient. But he still needs to train with his team. He still needs to stay in condition. He still needs to be able to come back when he's done with this punishment.
Yeah, because now with not training, like Papimento also said, you're basically also giving him a little bit of a career knockout, basically. If he cannot train for a year, a professional athlete cannot not train for a year.
But he cannot train at the club, right? He can train on his own, right?
He can train for himself. Yeah, with a personal trainer.
But actually, does Ajax still have to pay his salary now for 12 months?
This is something they're going to discuss. How do you guys view that? Because that would be my next question. And to round off, please also tell me who would you choose as a substitute for Onana going forward?
Two easy answers, man. Extend his contract and agree with him that he has less salary the coming 12 months or no salary. And to answer your question, I think Erik ten Hag already knows who's placing in the goal. It's Labiat. So
I would go for Stekelenburg just because of the experience, and I haven't seen Scherpen yet dominating at young Ajax, like keeping the clean sheets. He's been having trouble. So just for the experience, Stekelenburg on goal. And the second question was, sorry, I forgot.
The question would be how to deal with Onana from Ajax.
Oh, how to deal with Onana. Yeah, I would use it as an incentive, just if he wants to extend his contract with Ajax, so he knows he's safe. And that's the only possibility, I think.
Yeah, indeed. Extend his contract. I think he's willing to do that. He's not able to go to another club. In the meantime, there's no club who will be buying him at the moment. So extend his contract. It's a win-win situation for all of us, and hopefully the ban will be a bit less.
And salary, maybe a pay cut. I don't know, man.
Yeah, but that's obvious. I mean, that's obvious. And of course, we got there's also some jurisprudence. There are some players who got their ban lifted because of some specific case, and Ajax is trying to appeal on that jurisprudence. So hopefully,
on those circumstances.
Precedents. So hopefully that will manage to ban the church, or to have it for 6 months or for 3 months, so that we only miss him for this year and then start up next year. As Papimento said, in Ajax extend his contract, and the keeper that I would love to see is Kjell Scherpen, but no, it's going to be 100% Stekelenburg.
Yeah, I'm not caring too much about either which keeper he will put in the goal, because I'm not too fond of both of them, because I think Kjell maybe has some potential, but I still haven't seen the potential really in the last year. So maybe for the experience, Stekelenburg, but you can also try it with Kjell in the Eredivisie. Just see how he performs, and maybe for now, because it's short term, go with Stekelenburg in the Europa Cup, in the Europa League, because I think maybe for Kjell to maybe actually go ahead and be the goalie in the Europa League right away is maybe too much.
And can I add, by the way, that I do blame Ajax for not getting a new keeper, because they knew this already for some months. So they could have searched for a new keeper in the meantime.
Sabi, they have Kotarski, they have Scherpen, and Stekelenburg.
No, but let me finish. We already know Onana will most likely leave in the summer, would have left in the summer if he stayed. So it was a perfect opportunity to at least get a goalkeeper right now, taking into account the suspension that he will receive, because they already knew that that he was positive. So it's basically looking forward, planning forward, and that's something that they haven't done. They probably have more trust in Kiel and in Stekelenburg, okay, but that would not be my choice.
Isn't it true that you can also still loan a player outside of your contract or outside of your transfer window?
If he's a free agent,
domestic loans would be possible, right?
Domestic, probably. I'm not sure about that, honestly. I don't know. Okay. But look, what Sahbi is saying is correct, actually, because they knew about this beforehand, which is also why it was interesting to see Emma was looking for a goalkeeper, and they actually asked Ajax, they wanted to loan Scherpe, but Ajax didn't want to do that. So they went on and got another goalkeeper. That's one. Second of all, also, just to add, and then we have to finish, guys. There's no more reaction from you guys, so this is it. Just to finish off, Sahbi also said something interesting. Stekelenburg is also his final year. He only signed a 1-year contract. So in the summer, we really have to do something about the goalkeeper situation.
But that's summer. You don't want double salaries being paid for a goalkeeper that's going to be on the bench. So summer is summer. Now we don't need it.
Salary is the last thing that you need.
Salary.
All right.
Winter is coming, guys. Winter is coming. Summer will be far ahead.
Guys, I can feel it, man. I can. You want to subscribe.